Even before you're thinking about selling your house, what should you be thinking about while you're living in it?
Well, I think, we all tend to, when we've been in a home a little while, we tend to have some of those project areas where you go, well, someday we'll do this. And I tried to take the process along the way of, if it was something I was going to upgrade at the time of sale, I wanted to enjoy it. I don't want to put brand new kitchen counters in for the next person. Like, I don't care about them that much. I'd like to enjoy the new kitchen counters. And so as even from the very point that we bought the home, and we didn't think we were going to be there forever, we ended up being in our condo for about 6.5 years. And things like the kitchen counters we replaced, but we did it a few years ago because we knew that was ultimately going to be kind of, I think, necessary to upgrade some of the finishes for sale, but didn't want it to just be at the very end where you fix all this stuff and then you look at it and go, hey, this place is actually kind of nice. Maybe I'm okay staying here. And so I think looking around at your projects list and just saying, do we need new carpet? Do we need some of these things that might improve our ability to sell the home, but would also improve our quality of life in the home? And you may find that a little bit of touching up there might extend your happiness in the home and let you extend that further. But at the very least, it'll help you to list and be a little bit more attractive.
All right. So once you decide, though, that you are ready to sell a house in the somewhat immediate future, what should you start doing?
The best way I can categorize it is get rid of all of your stuff.
Just put it on the front lawn,
to the
see
extent,
who takes it, and then burn the rest.
I mean, the amount of, and maybe this is just me, some other folks are very neat people, and maybe they do a better job at managing clutter, but the amount of just junk that 2 people in my home accumulated just shocked me. And, so whether we'll talk about how you list in just a moment, but if you have a realtor come through, they're going to tell you've got to get rid of all of the clutter. You've got to get rid of some of the personalization. People want to be able to picture themselves in the home, not necessarily your family photos and things like that. But getting rid of that clutter, you can start doing that right now. That's one of those things where you can go through, Marie Kondo it if you've been watching that on Netflix.
See if it sparks joy.
Yeah, if it doesn't spark joy and if you don't need it, start to kind of whittle that down because you're going to be so much happier not having to move all of this stuff. Because that's really what's coming next is, number one, you need the house to show well. It's going to show better with less stuff in it. And you just really start realizing how much junk you don't have to have. And that, I think, was... Even though we tried to downsize our stuff, we were still shocked by the process.
Yeah, Bro, we've done episodes in the past about decluttering. What were some of your favorite ways that you've gotten rid of stuff in the past when you moved?
Well, so one issue with us is having the kids, right?
Oh, kids have so much stuff.
So that's part of it, just getting rid of the stuff the kids no longer play with or the clothes that fit them. And we're big fans of once a year having like a yard sale or putting a bunch of stuff on Craigslist. And when you tell your kids, like, if you sell this, you get to keep the money, man, that is a great way to get rid of a lot of stuff that they don't play with anymore. And I'll also say in the last couple of times that we sold our house, we didn't just get rid of stuff, we also got storage to put stuff in, because sometimes you have some furniture that is maybe not the best looking furniture. It may not help the house show well, but you still want to keep it. And you can stretch out that process of decluttering the house and getting ready to show by just starting to move that. And it only costs, like $100, $200, $300 a month or so. You can stretch it out. And a lot of things you have to do to your house, like painting, new carpets or stuff like that, you have to clear the room anyhow. So getting a storage facility is helpful for that too.
Yeah, and then are you good about going back and actually emptying out the storage facility, or you just tend to put that, it's just like, this is always there?
Oh yeah, no, that's for me. I hate paying for something. Yeah. Like anything that's related, just paying just because you have stuff. So as soon as we got the new house, we clear that out.
Those storage facilities know they've got most people on the ropes, right? Like they keep increasing that rent year by year. That's a tremendous business, just because most people, I think they get all that junk in there and they go, oh no, I'm not going back in that. I know my dad was one of those people for years. I mean, he would have paid anything to just not have to clean it out.
Yeah. All right. So after you've gotten rid of the clutter, which makes it, I make it sound so easy. It took us, it took us months and months and so many car trips and so much posting on Slack on the Fool. Who wants 6 martini glasses that we have not unwrapped since our wedding?
Yeah.
Because why did we put martini glasses on our registry? I don't know.
For all
that
your
was
cocktail
dumb.
parties.
For all of our cocktail parties. We have one friend who drinks Cosmos, and she's the only person who has ever drunk out of one. All the rest of them were in their original little box, never touched.
You got to start making Manhattans. That can go in a martini glass.
It's a dumb shape for a glass. I don't care. Everything can be drunk out of a jelly glass. Who cares? All right, so clutter's gone. It was not hard, but you did it. Good for you.
Well, yeah, and honestly, we got lucky. My parents live in the area and let us put a bunch of boxes in their home, and that helped with 2 phases of it. Number one, getting rid of our stuff, which ended up being out of the house for like months at a time, and then you go to pick it up, and you're like, why do I need any of these things?
Yeah.
If I've been living for months without this stuff, do I really need it? But they were also very motivated to get the stuff back out of their home, so that made sure we went and picked it up because my mom wasn't having it.
Yeah.
You've moved now. Go ahead and get it. But so I think decluttering, and then you start to kind of neutralize a little bit. You know, you got to assume that your taste is not everybody's taste. So to the extent that you can go less knick-knacky and more just kind of neutral colors, and try and appeal to the broadest audience. And I, again, not all of us are interior designers. That's certainly not who I am. But I just assumed most people wouldn't like my stuff. So as much of it as I could put away, I think that was kind of the goal there. And then really, buyers, and I think this is true across all buyers, are going to prefer a turnkey house. The less they have to do, the more you can do for them so that your home looks like it's ready to just come plop your stuff down, sit and relax, I think is better. And we had a tough choice on our carpet. We knew it needed to be replaced, and we ended up not doing it because we were still living in the home at the time. It was showing. We were going to have to move all of the furniture. And quite frankly, I think we paid for that a little bit in terms of what we got for the home, and probably should have done that work ahead of time. But people definitely appreciate if they don't have to do the work when they move in.
Yeah, for us, it was important to be moved out of our house before we started showing it. Like, we just wanted to not have to deal with people walking through our house and all of our things and stuff. But then our realtor was like, well, but we need to stage the house to take photos. And so we had to do this whole rigmarole where we took photos of one specific floor, and it was just like the whole staging your house is can be expensive if you actually are going to stage it and bring in other people's furniture. I don't know. Do you find that with the people that you've been working with, and granted, the people that you've been working with live all around the world, all around the country, that they are having to do a lot to sell their houses? Is it hard for them to sell? Or generally speaking, it's like, no, it's actually a pretty good time to be selling?
I think right now, the message I hear, at least locally and certainly in other parts of the country where the market's been hot, is that it is a seller's market, at least at the moment. Now, I was going through this process at the end of last year as the market was falling like a knife through butter. And that was not going as well because the traffic was down. I think people were a little concerned. And heading into the holidays was not a great time to list. It was a decent time to be a buyer. And so I think, what I gave up on the selling side, I got on the buying side, and being able to be a little bit more aggressive there. But right now, it seems like inventory is exceptionally low. The home across the street from us in our new place went up, and it was under contract within like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, DC is a
very, very quick turnaround. So it seems like at the moment, if you're in one of those markets, that you can basically write your ticket. But at the time that we did it, we definitely had a little bit more effort that had to go into it.